It's so interesting to me that like Landor would swap back to just kind of this very stock standard composition. I also agree. I was kind of excited to see Chaotic play on a Yoru potentially. Unfortunately, we'll just be onto that Jet. So sticking to what they know and what has kind of worked best over all of these years, while Shopify Rebellion got a little bit more of a newer look to them as the gunfight breaks out early just outside of B.
Already, Paint dragging Monsi on over to that front door of B main. And the bigger stack nets the better trade. Paint's actually just going to double down into it. And despite the help of the flash from that Arc Rose, Shopify still has a lot more to deal with now. Sacred on the other side, alone, by the way. Dink, and takes 3 that time around, but still, Sacred 2v1s on his own front. So that'll drag even more resources over to the A front door. Landor now much more confident in their approach towards B once this mesh fades away, especially since Monsi is at a measly 20 HP. There is a flawless round in the cards here for Landor if they play said cards right.
Well, the engagement is going to be underway. Monsi is just going to be backing off here, waiting for a potential little regroup in case anyone comes through. But yeah, this is looking like it's going to be a solid round coming out from Landor as Spike goes down. BCJ, though, has a wraparound completely the other direction, goes completely unchecked.
And Sacred has not been looked. Oh, I think Sacred had to like go to the bathroom or something. That's my guess. They were like, you guys have the round from here, right? T-Dog, you're watching me? T-Dog's like, yeah, man, I got your cover.
Oh, no.
But in comes BCJ, down main. He's got 3. Monsi can make it interesting. Okay. Chaotic puts a stop to it, but Landor, yeah, unflinching start to the round, nets them in the long run. Great pistol play.
Yeah, and this is
disconnected.
like...
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened there. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. But it was so interesting to me because I really thought that how the utility kind of came out there from Shopify Rebellion was very well executed. It's just they didn't really have a lot of follow-up. They had what they needed in place to really make sure that they clamped down on top of the entry from Landor as they were kind of moving in onto B, except Paint goes down super early and all that utility gets expended until at that point, Monsi is just like, okay, I just got to throw down the barrier mesh and just walk away from this one because there's way too many people there and they were ready for that. So a great job coming in from Landor to kind of mitigate some of that pressure, especially from that utility, especially given that that was the weaker point of Shopify Rebellion, not being able to lock down those sites. So great job to Landor as they get that pistol, even a man down when you think about it.
And really interesting if Paint and Monsi decide to kind of push that B main early when they don't have intel of anybody else. Just the potential you have to be swinging into a stack feels way too great to be going for something like that. But I suppose you're confident that Paint can maybe TP out and Monsi's doing like a soft hold of the choke, so maybe you get away with one and then kind of just dip out. Such is the nature of pistols. It's always going to be a little grimy. But the overall, Landor kind of just managing all the fights they needed to so well. And it speaks to the individuality of, everybody on this team, how willing everybody has been how willing everybody has been to step up, in their own way when it's asked of them. Here on Ascent, starting out on the attack half, as Shopify has chosen to start out on the defense. I imagine we'll see a lot of that, when they're trying to anti-condition. Once they've gotten in the groove, for a couple rounds, they'll stick back to a default and start trying to go for ISO fights again.
Yeah. And on top of that too, we know that Sacred is definitely back. He's just jumping around on the screen.
He's having the time of his life now that he's back.
I'm free. The shackles are off. There are no strings on me. No, but once again, just taking a look at how things go, Landor do start really hot. That requires a response from Shopify Rebellion, which we saw in the last map. And so hopefully they can get that moving a little bit earlier compared to last time, so that they don't kind of let so many of these rounds go unchecked and they're able to get something. It'd be Sacred now, poking around this corner. 2 members of Shopify Rebellion just on the other side. Maybe Jacob taking first contact as the flood for Landor will go through. Oh,
BCJ forced to swing out on top of the Owl drone. It was only a matter of time. Sadly, nothing found. A great calm as Jacob uses that arc rose basically instantly, but once again, doesn't take a member of Landor all the way down. Still chaotic, very low. He'll still be the first to peek out, see if he can spot anything here, and it'll be Paint. Insta-kill this round on this gun.
Yeah, and look at this entire time, Moose has just been kind of hanging out of A, you know, just waiting for someone to push up there. Doesn't get any contact, and so now Landor, they decide to double back around. And Chaotic, meanwhile, just on an absolute tear. Doesn't need the team support. The Marshall will be simply enough.
30 seconds
and is just, gonna go right over the here.
Doesn't even care.
Matter. Yeah, I can 1v1 him. And Pancake's just on the other side. Line him up, knock him down. That's gonna be Chaotic with 4K. Close out the round. 19 HP at the end of that. So, you know, pretty good for Landor. And get really close to having those knives online.
What a start from Chaotic. Just runs it down completely without fear. Very justified in doing so at that stage. Again, after, you know, Landor had done all of that feather plucking in the early round. So many weak points that you can start pressuring.
And once again, the Shopify Rebellion composition, this should be a little bit stronger on this defense here. A little bit more focused on locking down certain areas. Make it difficult for the enemy to move in. We're seeing the mesh get popped up very early on here. Will be contested as Chaotic just on the other side. Monty aware.
It's ahead of the sonic sensor, but yeah, Monty watching, waiting. Is he prepared for a second person, though? Yes, he is. Yes. All right, so Tree is a no-go this round for Landor. Let's see what else they come up with. The smoke is going to be able to kind of toss Monty off, but yeah, everybody's already posted up here on A site, so it doesn't really feel like you'll be able to make any headway here.
And this is exactly what you wanted to see out of the utility from Shopify Rebellion. With a simple barrier mesh, just kind of locking down the main entrance, slowing down Landor to a halt. And then now the entry going to be underway. 3 members remaining. Monty finds out another.
And Spaz will go ahead and spray down the rest. Unquestionable bonus there for Shopify Rebellion Black, who can hold on to 4 rifles here. As Landor lose all of the gas this round, now that the rifles are in the hands of SRB. Hopefully that changes now that it's the other way around. Chaotic with the knives as well, so you can really start poking around mid again like they did before. They can start, you know, they can come back with that confidence.
Yeah, let's see what they want to do. It feels like they're very happy to pressure one site and then just go for a quick rotation onto the next once they kind of do their damage there. Now that we're getting into the serious mode, getting into the rifle rounds, see how they want to play this one out. Already, Moose gonna be up top here. Gonna be the barrier mesh tossed out preemptively.
Over there.
Monty doesn't find anything, so a little bit aware there. Chaotic able to find that first kill, and now the engagement could be underway.
Fool me twice. Spaz now holding the door control, ready for that push the second it's tuned in, but Chaotic way faster than a door button.
Ooh.
And Landor have all they need to snowball the round. In for a penny, out for a pound. Landor come away with all of that weight. All these guns. They'd love to keep 5, but they'd love to get kills too, so Sacred's on the hunt. BCJ should be able to, top him off. But still, it's a Landor round through and through. A terrific exec through Tree after Monty got popped before he could really respond.
Yeah, look at this. Like, Landor's just hunting for them. They know they need to punish the economy a little bit more. Chaotic. Knives already pulled. BCJ, though, good for it. Able to find a Moose there. Keep those rifles alive just for a little bit longer. And now Landor, understanding they've lost 2, decide to play a little bit more relaxed. Not as aggressive, not as bloodthirsty to try and find a couple of those kills. They will just take the round instead. And BCJ, as well as Jacob, stay alive in the midst of all of that. BCJ 1 away from getting the Hunter's Fury online as well. And so, let's see what Shopify Rebellion have ready to go. Monsi this time will have the Annihilation in pocket. can potentially just yoink somebody out, put them into a very uncomfortable position. But yeah, like look at that.
It's nasty.
Chaotic just goes for the peek around the corner, ducks immediately, and then just able to find that kill even through a wall bang.
That's a fantastic spacing to be able to kind of get the sight line and then immediately convert that into a wall bang through that arch. That's just terrific from Chaotic.
And now has an outline back, so looking for those one-shot, one kills, and was pretty successful on that one on the second round.
Really give him a lot of open space to have to look through, though, and with the help of that deadlock ulti, he's actually going to be the first target of everyone on SRB's aggression. It'll be BCJ's Odin that sprays him down before the lockdown will fully ward away the defense. Only to the back line, though, and the Hunter's Fury can just course right through this lane.
Wow.
That's all the board clearing you need if you're Shopify. Now the spike's exposed. Shopify doesn't even have to watch it. Look how far away they are right now. They're scared that Moose is like way deep in.
You say scared, I say respectful.
Hey. Alright, well now we've swarmed the spike. We've taken the long road, and Landor unfortunately couldn't take a road there at all. Might be their turn to save with only 40 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and on top of that too, the barrier mesh gets tossed up, so they have to invest so many bullets just to shoot that down. There's an Odin on the other side. It's just bad news bears if you decide to engage into that one. And so an excellent defensive round coming in from Shopify. Great calling just to make sure that they've got the protocols ready to go. Excellent use of the utility. Don't even engage it at the gunfight up against Landor at this point, you know? Just let the utility do the talking for you. The Hunter's Fury goes across, finds a pick there. Sacred's lockdown is tossed in the midst of it, which honestly prompted the Hunter's Fury in the first place. It all just works out perfectly for Shopify Rebellion. And Landor, they don't even get a chance to put their foot in the door. It's just slammed shut as the spikes just cross that threshold into the weird, awkward space where they won't even be able to get it. So Shopify Rebellion completely zoned Landor out on that last round.
Annihilation did get tossed into that round as well, though, so Monsi will have to take a bit of a back seat, especially if Landor can still buy into this. He can't play nearly as actively as he could have if he still had this ultimate for this round. No ults, in fact, for Shopify, but also nothing for Landor to really springboard off of, so it has to be fast acting for them. They have to execute perfectly onto at least the first blood. It comes down to finding that first. That's why Shopify's completely repositioned on this B site. They just have Jacob standing alone on the far skirts of the shack. The rest of Shopify isn't even close to any of that. They don't want to get touched by it.
A little bit of a scout out here.
Early
Everyone
mesh.
from Shopify Rebellion just hanging back, and now the barrier mesh goes up. So it, once again, will slow Landor down. And previously, we've seen Landor just go for that far rotation, but it's usually because they've got one of their members tucked deep within that A site. And they've only got middle presence, so it might be a mid to B hit. Both of the Sentinels, though, for Shopify Rebellion are swimming around that site, ready to receive any pressure as the gate crash gets utilized as well to make sure that Pain can get into position as quickly as possible.
Triple swing over the shear is perfect. Landor can bludgeon this site. Vice Util has to go up early, but Chaotix managed to spot Pain in the back line, and that leaves just what's on site. Still a lot to work through, though. Jacob has a fun corner, and Chaotic just drops right into it. Refragged instantly, and Monsi can't grab a kill. Pivotal for Landor's post plant. Shopify only have 2 players to work into this. It may not be enough. Good recon, or good shock darts for BCJ to do some ship, though. And this Odin can still do a lot of legwork and parsing out some of this dead space. But really tough to make any headway here, and Moose just can cycle the smokes, make it even tougher to push any farther forward than they already have. Surely they leave at this point. Spaz is way too deep in, though. I think he's got to commit. Oh, BCJ, though. Nice. Long vantage. Looks like we're sticking around for the long haul to see how many kills we can get away with on the way down. Why not? BCJ dabs another. Wow.
Okay.
Only keeping 1 rifle standing as the spike will detonate. And in fact, that'll get T-Dog too. Everybody's dead after round 6, leaving Landor in a bit of a sticky situation.
Listen, that might not have been a round win, but it is a really efficient round for Shopify Rebellion, punishing the economy so heavily on Landor's side. We are seeing them be able to buy up yet again, but this time the shields aren't all put together. And for me, that's a sign that this economy is just teetering on being broken right now. So Shopify Rebellion, thanks to that last round, if they're able to scoop this one up, that could make Landor into a bit of an awkward position where their buy is going to be scattered onto the next one. We are seeing Shopify Rebellion now go for their first time out to just kind of cool off their heads, because Landor so far have been coming back into it. Doesn't look absolutely dominant. There definitely is a chance for Shopify to be able to get back into it, but a lot of those initial traps that we saw, a lot of the zoning utility that we saw is not getting as much value as they would hope here. We've seen Monsi play the deadlock before. Monsi is extremely good at utilizing that utility to make sure that they can secure kills, but it hasn't been hitting just as hard on this specific matchup against Landor. So let's calm it down. Let's see what they can pull out of this one and mitigate some of the pressure that Landor are doing, because Landor are just playing a little bit more patient this time. It's not a full send onto the site. They're taking their time with it and really playing with their food before they engage on one of these areas.
This time, nobody from Shopify watching early, but they do have paint on this operator. Watching down mid now. Landor now a quarter way through regulation, have to be prepared for that new lineup in this defense. Chaotic. It's messy, but it's a push that works. I don't know how you get that kill. But Paint has an easy setup thanks to the grab net tossed in before Monsi fell. And so it's a 3v3 after BCJ catches the lurk. Resetting the plant. Moose stuck in way back into Jacob's lurk, but Jacob prepared for it. And now he'll wrap back around. Force this reattention. Tree door is blocked, but there's way too many openings that you gotta work with. T-Dog only has one shock dart as well. Chaotic has to hold early. Owl drone first. Pancakes just swings on top of it. Chaotic running out of bullets, running out of time. T-Dog in the 1v3 to try to hold on to this round. First angle's good. First find dealt with. Can move freely. Has to deal with BCJ though. And Paint's just gonna hold this spike down halfway. Goes for the second attempt, and it's beautiful from T-Dog. BCJ, do you have time?
Oh,
no! No way! No way! T-Dog just played that well! There is no way on earth that that worked!
Oh no. I mean, at that point, right, your hands are kind of tied. You got two people left staring down the barrel of your gun, waiting for you to move out. You just got to focus up. You got to kill the spike diffuser, make sure they can't do a single thing. And that was just enough stall there. BCJ's angle was not close enough to allow that defuse to come through. Scrappy as ever, Shopify Rebellion, they should have had that round. It was looking so good for them. I really wanted to give a shout out to throwing the grab net, despite the fact that we get Chaotic so deep onto the site. That slows it down just enough to allow the members to get kills. And Chaotic goes in here with the judge. Will find Jacob just on the other side. It's just an absolute brawl on the site.
Yeah, we're getting disrespectful this round. Let's just get it done and over with. Get Shopify their next buy and give us a round we actually care about. Until then, we'll pay no mind to this.
One enemy remaining.
It is a nearly flawless round 8. Landor looking undeniable on this attack half at this point. I mean, I'm still harking on that round from T-Dog. That was so perfectly played. My God, what an IGL that Landor has managed to scoop up for this team. Doing some wonderful things already.
It's so funny because you say that T-Dog perfectly played that, and I think that Shopify Rebellion actually played that perfectly as well. It's just,
look, you know, there's only so much you can do in a 3v1. What are you gonna do?
You know? Regardless, you know, the save round out of the way, Landor just run down Shopify Rebellion. And now we see Sacred have that judge in hand. The economy for Landor is looking pretty powerful right now, as Shopify Rebellion still struggling, really. Get a foothold in this half. We see that Pate does have the Dimensional Drift online. BCJ as well with the Hunter's Fury. An excellent combination. Could potentially find a couple of kills there, but they're really just kind of taking their time this time around. This is the right move because Landor, they're going for one of their patented rotate around to wherever you've put the lurker, and then they execute in together after 30 seconds into this round. And so they're going to be moving in here. Let's see what Paint can do with that get out of jail free card. So that combo can be activated very quickly if necessary.
Yeah, whenever he realizes that it's tough, oh, unless there's an ult command, right? Yeah, this definitely makes things a little bit tougher, doesn't it? All of a sudden, the pressure is entirely placed on Paint to grab a kill or bust. Actually, the rest of SRB is quite early to this backline, and so Paint, pressure is only put on him to hold down the site. Landor does get there, but Paint gets the 3K. Chaotic versus the world to try to keep the streak going, and Shopify can stabilize. They got the rifles, they got the personnel, they have what they need to be able to tie up this half, but it is going to be a monumental task.
Paint was shaking in his boots there. You know that 100% was just like, no worries, guys. If it gets dicey, I'll get, wait, I can't use any of my utility anymore. Guys? But the response from Shopify was immaculate. The members swing back around. Enough time is bought to be able to, first of all, toss out some utility just outside of the range of the null command to slow them down for a second, but then also to find a kill. Slow Landor down just for another second there, and now the dimensional drift can get carried over into this next round. It's discombobulated, and look at this. Sacred is running away, but Paint will make sure to secure the kill. It's going to be that combination that takes out the Killjoy. At this point, you must know that it's going to be an A-side hit.
And Landor is still mega disconnected. Bones was trying to pick up on that refrag, but Paint didn't stick around. Now you've got to fully commit to the push, but Chaotic so ahead of things, so good!
Wow.
Even still on the Blade Storm, that's 3 deep! The tree poke is still tough, though. You got one over here on the inside door. That's making things a little difficult, but Chaotic gonna activate that shear. That'll let him get that door stacked up, reset, let Bones take the reins as Chaotic falls.
Shadows traveling.
2v1 in the post plan. Jacob. No more door in his way. One Vine to work with to flush out just one member. And the Paranoia already has to reset him. This looks pretty cooked. But Jacob gets in, and Jacob goes down. Landor. Another stunning push, another incredible round from Chaotic as Landor get to 7 on the attack half here on Ascent.
Yeah, and this is looking not too good. Chaotic just going around, making them almost look like clowns. Blade Storm in hand, pushes directly through there and catches members individually marching into heaven there. It's such this weird change of tempo that we're seeing Landor play with that's really allowing Chaotic to just absolutely thrive. 17 kills right now in the lobby. Next highest on Landor is only 6. To go from a slow, patient style on this attack to an incredibly aggressive one. And Shopify Rebellion just don't have any idea which version of Landor they're going to be seeing on this particular round. They've got protocol set up for the individual things, but it's that hesitation, that uncertainty, whether or not it's going to be as explosive. Paint, though, able to find Bones, take out a lot of that flash pressure, makes it a lot easier for Shopify Rebellion to really hold down these sites.
Again, this is just so reminiscent of, the play style that we saw Shopify Rebellion polish to win that first stage after seeing Rankers win the previous year. Just go, 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 pedal to the metal, and then a very sudden stop, a sudden grind to a halt that forces a heat check on the opposition, and then you put that foot right back to the floor, and you go right back to 100, and you don't stop again. You jerk your opponent side to side, discombobulate them until there's no tomorrow.
30 seconds left.
Another lockdown from Landor to guarantee the B site. Should be pretty clean from there. Moose with the TP. It's a free site for Landor.
The damage done onto Chaotic as well.
Nowhere to run.
Field Garden was already utilized. It's going to be an early Hunter's Fury to try and zone them out. All tactics, though, with Shopify Rebellion get ready to move.
Sacred early hold on the market. Very risky. Already revealing a foot. This is going to be a dead body in the water. Is there a cover fire for it? Oh, Sacred's the cover fire. He just sprays through the smoke and grabs one on the way down. Still a 3v4, though. Shopify looked pretty set to take this round. Pancakes first swing in. It's good. Paint with the sandwich. Everybody's stuck in Boathouse. Everybody's stuck in Boathouse, but it doesn't matter. BCJ has to come in for the lineup and save face. Another very late defuse.
I'm getting nervous watching this. It's like I'm watching a Fnatic on their attack, you know? It's just like, oh, it's ever so patient. You guys are gonna go, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, all right. And then it's just, like you said, pedal to the metal, except this time it's Shopify Rebellion that have to go so quickly because they take so much time to get themselves set up. But you know what? The results speak for themselves. Right now, BCJ high and chaotic with the number of kills in this lobby, 17 to 17. The next up are Paint and T-Dog. Paint at 8, T-Dog at 7. It's very clear there are 2 dogs in the server right now, and that's BCJ and Chaotic.
And they're the 2 that were letting it all out on the table on Icebox 2. The players that have the most to give tonight. And often here in North American Challengers, the games come down to those players.
Barrier deployed.
Last round of the attack for Landor. Already an impressive half, to say the least, from them. As Shopify's double Senti comp is about to switch sides. Aggressive grab net from Shopify to try to catch a couple members lacking on Landor. Instead, it's the lurk that'll now force away Paint's TP, holding onto that operator. Landor gaining passive space.
Yeah, that operator getting spotted as well is really good information. Sure, the Yoru can TP out, so that adds a couple more questions. At least for the time being, you know that it might not be where you expect it. Bit of a scattered buy as well. T-Dog only on that stinger. Jacob only with this shotgun in hand, but this shotgun will be good. They try to move in here, and move in they will.
Great attempt by Chaotic to try to stave off the Vine, but Pancakes in the right spot to deal with it properly. Now switching up. Oh, the blind is still good though, and Landor can just bulldoze the rest. Where's your heaven, Perch? Where were your people? Where are your defenders? Landor took care of all of them. No ifs, ands, or buts. And now you've got the whole of your site to yourselves. It's Landor's playground. They're taking every high ground imaginable. Every possible angle they need to get every crossfire they can muster. As BCJ telegraphs for the sake of going for the kill. And he can't. Moose gets aggressive. Sacred with the cross. And Landor are 5 rounds away from doing what no set of teams has done before, Marks, proving all 5 of us on the desk wrong twice in a row.
Oh boy, it's not looking great for us, but you know, I'm really curious to see how Shopify Rebellion want to play this attack now. Obviously, they were the ones who decided to pick the defensive half starting, and on top of that, when you look at their composition, it kind of makes sense. And right now, I have to question the Deadlock pick a little bit. Usually when you talk about having like a Sentinel on this one, it tends to be Killjoy anyways, but they decided to go with Deadlock as well as Vise. Vise kind of makes sense given how some of this playstyle works, but the Deadlock, I would want to see the utility getting a lot more value out of it. It felt very passive at times. And maybe on the attack, we can see that grab get just a little bit more. An excellent flash here as Paint takes Chaotic out.
And immediately TP back over as well. It's the kind of aggression that Shopify has to be going for with this kind of composition, attacking in chunks, taking big bites out of Landor's comp until you're able to safely take a site and a fight with it.
Stealing sight.
Now with the site that they have not stressed nearly as much, they'll enter in and partially pressured, but the rest of Landor stays strong, and they were able to make it back to the party in time. It is trivial, really, honestly. Shopify haven't even made it over the starting line. And BCJ and Pancakes are both so low. Nothing is hitting. Nothing is landing. Nothing is working. And they've got to just gun it. 45 seconds to go. Opportunities waning. Peaks flourishing. Landor having the time of their lives, just playing whack-a-mole with these guys until Sacred can make the snake around and guarantee this fully.
Wow.
Another pistol. Landor lost that first one and never looked back.
Bones just trapped between the door and the barrier mesh. I was just like, and then I started blasting. Just lines them up. shoots them all down with the pistol. An excellent start for, what do you call it, Shopify Rebellion there. I love the little TP play. And yet still, nothing comes of it. Landor just lining up all the members of Shopify and mowing them down. It is multi-kills within seconds. As it feels like Landor's style, these kind of maps here. This time it's going to be aggressive for Shopify.
Very aggressive. Really want to get the drop on what is left of the team here, and they do get him a little bit antsy, but Sacred is able to hold steadfast and just spray down with a stinger. And then the Spectre. Double digits here for Landor, and a lot of guns still intact to hold on to slow this bonus round down and keep things difficult for the attacking side here on Ascent.
My ult's not ready.
Okay, rifles in hands. Monty and Spaz unfortunately only have the light shields there. I still just can't get over just the inequity that exists on the scoreboard for the number of kills for Shopify Rebellion. ECG still at 17 kills, Paint at 9. The rest of the members also struggling to find those kills against Landor. They haven't had many of those clutch moments kind of come alive. But they need to get this round, otherwise this gets a little bit too ridiculous. Moose just walks it down, finds one kill already.
I mean, it's so well read. It's so easily read. He literally hears it. And then Bones sprays down for 2. This is a rifle round.
Cool.
Nice shot by Pancakes. But so much work to still do to even recover this round for Shopify, let alone get a rifle out of it. And Landor have stall tools. They got an owl drone. They got 2 flash darts. They have a smoke in the tank. They have all this KJ util set up on the B site that I think Shopify still have to go for anyway because they don't really have any other options.
Well, they're gonna have to deal with Sacred just hanging out at the back of site here.
Yeah.
Still has a Spectre in hand as well, so especially for the close range, that's gonna be oopsies.
Oh no.
Don't limit your own options.
All right. Good thing we've gotten rid of that part. Gotta clear boathouse first. Oh, and they can't even do that without getting rid of one dude. These guys are looking so good right now, man. They are locked in.
Sound sensor up.
Still,
Listen.
gotta retake. Monty getting the spike down. Sonic sensor set up. If there's anyone to control a boathouse, it is this guy. Let's see that deadlock util in action. It's all at once. Smoke, paranoia, flash bomb, everything else cleared. Monty with the far angle. Meeting 1, meeting 2, third swing, Bones gets the drop. That is 30 HP that he's sitting on. All because
no.
Monty looked into the smoke, expected the off-angle push instead of what was right in front of him.
Don't get shot.
And Landor continues hurtling at that 13 mark like a speeding bullet.
Honestly, it was a 50-50 there, where the last opponent could be.
Yeah.
X-Split used the utility at least to just kind of slow things down, and I think it was the dart ping that just kind of goes off there. You wouldn't dart ping unless you were going to push in through the smoke. But instead, it's just a hopping Bones, just a shotgun in hand. It hurts all that much more. Shopify Rebellion Black down 4-11. Landor just cruising currently. Oh, they're almost in autopilot with how much room for error that they have, but they still gotta send Shopify Rebellion home after this one. This is honestly, Tenrek, this is really surprising for me. I thought with the amount of time that Shopify Rebellion have had, you know, seeing that squad and how crazy they were kind of going on all cylinders together and really making things work, we were really expecting a lot from this team. And quite frankly, especially in this first round, we haven't seen those same sparks of magic fly just quite yet. There have been a couple of clutch rounds thanks to a couple of their key players. But overall, like, Landor have just been running the series.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that really gets to do everything. They get to scrim with the best. They get the best resources. They get all the time in the world. They are one of the longest standing 5 stacks in North American Challengers history. And that's just because they've stuck around so far this year. And that's enough in this environment.
Apparently.
And yet, Shopify Rebellion as an organization is about to go 0 for 4 on round 1 of the Swiss. Annihilation on the early attack. As Monsi grabs Sacred on the way in, a perfect trap play that nets them 2. Here comes the approach. T-Dog catches 2, and Bones as well. They just won't stop getting away with it. And that's the entire economy for Shopify Rebellion gone. 8 rounds of match point that Landor gets to play with.
Landor feeling like a bunch of ants that have just walked into your home unexpectedly. You think you've dealt with them. You think you've got Chaotic in that Annihilation. Good move coming in from Shopify, not to hyper-focus, or sorry, from Landor, not to hyper-focus on the Annihilation and try to go for a couple of kills instead, because you know Shopify Rebellion are popping. But all the members of Landor just swarm in onto the site, completely uncontested, and Chaotic just gets BCJ for free. 1 bullet left in the rifle as well. Gets away with their life.
No space, no opportunities. Just have to feed into the egos if nothing else, which Landor do boast this round now that they pushed in so far. You could punish this aptly. You have the util to do it. You just don't necessarily have the weapons. It's so awkward. You've sculpted out a bit of mid.
Spike is.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to become an RV once you see an open sight. So touch and go against this team. Landor's just been so clean cut with it.
This is going to be such a tough call. We're now seeing them get the spike. They're all injured here. They either make the call, go A into where you know at least 2 agents are going to be hanging out, or you're going to be where that Killjoy utility is going to be. You didn't see any of it onto A, so it must be hanging out onto this B site. And Sacred has been shooting on these defensive rounds. Like B is going to be the call here. Turret almost takes Paint down, but it is going to be the null command activated.
Found them.
Bones taken down early here. Nobody there to recover him. Sacred already giving himself away with the top shots from the boathouse and can't optimize against Paint. Proper swings out from Shopify. No one's killing this guy. Okay, we've dealt with him. But T-Dog does get back to Bones, so he's still got a 2v3 going. Landor can still win this right here and now, let alone in the next 7 rounds. With Monty so low, it really is anybody's game still. T-Dog with the Odin. You can just spray down the entirety of Boathouse once the rest of site is cleared. And it's about to be. Not many more options for where these players can be. The Arcro is still available, though, for Jacob as soon as a shot is given away. And there's the blind on to 1. Perfectly timed is the swing, and Shopify hold on to a 5th.
Yeah, usually when we see Shopify go for those moments, it felt like Landor was coming out on top, but that time around, like, Landor were just waiting to try and punish their economy a little bit more, make that next round just that much more easier. And yeah, sure, take a timeout, why don't you? 12 to 5, 7 opportunities still remain here, and I do admit it did feel like Landor was getting a little bit more rambunctious on that last one. You know, they're feeling comfortable.
Tad bit.
Maybe some of their players have their feet up on their desk, all that type of jazz where they're like, we got this in the bag. And those are the moments where Shopify Rebellion are able to just kind of claw their way back into the round. So if you're Landor right now, you're taking a little bit of time just to cool off, you know, make sure your heads are still in the game, make sure you're sticking to your protocols, and attack Shopify Rebellion with the ferocity that we have seen thus far. Once again, whenever Shopify Rebellion wanted to move into any of these sites, Landor have been ready to pounce on them. And that time around, didn't seem like that was necessarily the case. So let's pull back to the first 4 rounds that we won and close out this series if you are Landor.
7 rounds to do it. Do it with glory. Do it with pride. And put yourself up on that pedestal that they stayed above Shopify Rebellion Black on the previous stage. Landor were one of the teams that were able to dismantle Shopify previously, that helped take down this Goliath. And Landor ended up sitting atop them in the rankings despite still not making playoffs. But now, with so much more time to prepare, with the roster mania that has gone on, the map pool changes, it feels like it should be so much closer.
Unimportant.
Landor swoops in. Moose, good for 2. It's risky, but it pays enough. Bones' next line of defense. It really just is whoever is next up. And that'll lead to a deadlock ulti, getting a really easy kill. Chaotic in just in time, though. He almost nets a second with Monsi, but has to re-break the door. Turn this into a 2v2 as Sacred comes in. His Bucky, but has the lockdown, and
Okay.
bet your bottom dollar they're gonna use it. Yeah, do it while this Sova is out of commission. The flank being confirmed by the shear, so Chaotic. Really no reason to hide anything about this. It just has to be simultaneously. One more shot before the Steel Garden activates, and Sacred just tries to get right in front of it. Now they know they just have to deal with Chaotic. But as his gun returns to form, and there's still a little bit of time left on the clock, can he get it done here? 1. You're not there in time. Shopify have enough once again to get over the line. It's 6-12.
I was gonna say that felt a little bit early from Sacred. I like the idea there, but at the same time, especially with the Steel Garden being available for Jacob, you know, sure, you don't expect them to pop that out there because they think that they can win, but Shopify Rebellion are in a kind of do or die situation. So the lockdown, unfortunately, doesn't get the value that they want. The Moose was definitely on the loose just at the beginning there, but excellent response, just using all of the ultimates that you've got for Shopify Rebellion to make sure that you secure that round. Paint still has the dimensional drift, an excellent entry tool. And so we're going to be seeing exactly that. Shopify Rebellion now 6 rounds before they catch up. A lot of work to do in front of them, but it is still possible here.
We got to OT once before. We can do it again. Sacred first. Pinch on Pancakes, and Paint's already TP'd back out. You gotta go for attempt number 2, and now Landor is fully tuned in to what is going on, and that might be the final curtain, at least on this B push. Shopify has to duck back. They realize there's way too much in their way, even with the barrier mesh helping them out on the back line. They have to skedaddle, and Landor knows it. They've already got players heading back on over to this A site. T-Dog, the perfect tree. Smoke just a little late. He spots a body, but it's a clone. Bones, though, has the swing back, and that's the body that's really cared about. The rest of Landor is now here to play, and it is as trivial can be. Landor made changes in the offseason. Shopify didn't. Landor revealed their playbook during offseason events this offseason. Shopify didn't. Landor had to deal with scrimming North American T2 teams this offseason. Shopify didn't. Landor won tonight. Shopify did not. GG's.